What's up, guys? I'm BTC. Welcome back to the unofficial agent program where I point out the throwers and the cheaters who are ruining this game. Hopefully someday we'll have an official agent program similar to what we have in CSGO. If you'd like to learn more about how that program could work in Overwatch, there's a link on the top of the screen and in the description. I also want to point out that if you have any of these matches and you'd like to share your replay, you can send it to the email that's on the screen with the provided information. Also, lastly, don't ever report someone that you see in these videos because people have duplicate names. Only ever report someone that you see doing something wrong firsthand. Gonna start things off a little differently. Normally when I get these replays, I'll review the entire thing, then I'll go back, find the spots where they were throwing or cheating, record it, and show it to you guys. But with this one, I haven't watched this footage yet, so I'm going to walk you through the process I use to figure out if the player was doing something wrong. In this case, we're watching the blue team Widow, who was accused of cheating using an aimbot. A couple of things with aimbots or cheating in general. You're looking for any sort of flicks that are really, really fast and seem unnatural, right? Normally when people move their mouse, there's like a little bit of a shakiness or there's a little bit of a bounce back when it gets to its final location because just the way the person is moving the mouse. With an aimbot, it's just very unnatural, very robotic-like, obviously. And then you also have the snapback ones where they get the criticals seemingly out of nowhere, even though their crosshair isn't actually on anything. And then, of course, wall hacks. So we're going to take a look for some of those things. That was a big miss on that Reaper right there. Could have taken a shot at that soldier and didn't. Body hit on the Moira, body hit on the Reaper. Let's slow this down a little bit. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 players and missed all 4 of them. I think it's safe to say there's no aimbot activated right now. That doesn't mean it couldn't be on later, but it was the first critical of the game, a body hit. Doesn't mean that they couldn't turn it on later. I've certainly seen that before, but that's a good critical. There's a body hit. Just charging that Zarya up, although the Zarya did get taken out. Good critical. Good criticals. But I mean, the Reinhardt was standing still, right? That was a good critical. Mostly standing still though. So like the last 3 people that he got criticals on were mostly standing still. The soldier was moving a little bit. The Reinhardt was not moving at all. And that Baptiste was just kind of spinning in circles, it looked like. It was another good critical. Just keeping the crosshair at head height, which is why I got a body hit on that Moira right there. I mean, that's what you're supposed to be doing. Another good critical. Complete miss on that Reaper, followed by another critical on the Baptiste. I think the crit on the Baptiste was more luck than anything. I'm guessing that this little spree where the Widow got a bunch of criticals was when they were thinking that they were using aimbot. But that doesn't look like cheating to me at all. That just looks like someone who's on a streak. Like someone's getting good. Or getting lucky, however you want to look at it. Reaper was just standing there, basically. Let's skip forward a little bit. See if we can find some other spots. Body hit. Body hit on a slow-moving Zarya. Body hit on a Rein. Body hit on the Moira. This person isn't cheating. Miss. Missed on a Reinhardt that was laying on the ground. I'm not trying to make fun of the person, by the way. I'm just pointing out some obvious things. I was going to say that was a wasted ult, but the round's over. All right, let's go and look at the other one here. So, switching over to Hanzo. Just kind of spraying the area. Missed a bunch right there. Miss. May was standing still. Misses. Miss. Body hit. Can't hit that Baptiste at all. Miss. This person isn't cheating. Alright, so this is a good example of someone who got a very good streak during the middle of the match, and people thought that they were using an aimbot, but this Widow, or now Hanzo, not cheating. Not using any aimbots, not using any of the snapbacks, not using a wall hack or anything like that. This person is completely, totally innocent. And now we're going to take a look at someone who absolutely is cheating. It's Club Glam. He's playing on the Soldier. This is Deathmatch in the arcade. I mean, how pathetic do you have to be to use cheats in the arcade? This is very clearly he's got an aimbot on. You can see it's kind of jittering around. Again, aimbot perfect onto the McCree. Locks onto the Mercy through the wall. Now this is a great part right here, okay? Because even though he's cheating, he's still garbage. Actually, let me speed it up a little bit. Even though he's cheating, he's still garbage. He knows that the McCree is there. He starts attacking before he even sees him. And... oh, oops, he forgot to reload. Stun. Fan. Dead. Because you're bad. Perfect aim doesn't help you when you have 0 game sense, buddy. Sorry to break it to you. Alright, let me show you with this. This is another really blatantly obvious one. So you can see the Hanzo through the other side of the building. Now, with whatever cheat he's using, he can see through the wall. He can see the outline or maybe a shape or something. He starts shooting through the wall. Again, very blatantly obvious that he's using an aimbot and a wall hack. Now, interesting thing about this part right here is his aimbot locks onto the Mercy, who's off in the far back, and he actually can't hit the Mercy because the walls are in the way. But then it switches over and it locks onto the Hanzo there. And you can see it's gonna lock on the Mercy as well. Then he dies. Then he tries a 1v1 with the Widow. And still loses, because he's garbage. You're cheating in the arcade. Like, how pathetic is that? This one is really easy. We have a Genji on the blue team who is throwing. Apparently he admitted that he was throwing in order to de-rank his account down to bronze. We're going to see very, very clearly what he was doing when he just jumps off the map right at the start. And he does it again a couple seconds later. And then about halfway through the match, he's still messing around over here. But now he has his ultimate. His team is trying to capture the point. They have a chance right here. Genji could use his ult. He could probably get at least a couple of them. But instead of helping, he's just sitting there. He decides he's just going to emote a bunch of times. And that's it. Just, I mean, this is so blatantly hard throwing right here. Just not doing anything. And then they end up losing. Later on, he ends up doing the same thing. Towards the end. Where he just sits up in the corner. And he doesn't do anything. He just AFKs near the point. So this guy, which is the blue Genji, very blatantly throwing. In this match, it's a special treat, not one, but two throwers. Both of the DPS on the red team, the Junkrat and the Mei, are trying to D-rank. This is incredibly obvious, and they just spend most of the match goofing off or not participating. So at the very beginning, we're going to see them going over to the right. I want to be very clear, this Mercy is not throwing. She probably has no idea what's going on at this point because, I mean, it's the very start of the match. But let me switch over to the Junkrat, and you're going to see that when the Junkrat gets over here, he just doesn't attack. Same thing with the Mei. They just don't attack. They're just running around, goofing off. The Mercy probably has no idea what's going on right now. And the Mei ends up get taken out right about there, and then the Junkrat gets taken out. So both of them just fed. They didn't help at all. Then later on, they tried again. This time the Mercy is not going with them because the Mercy probably figures out, okay, these people are just throwing. I'm not going to go with them. So she smartly stays with the team to try to help them out. But unfortunately, it's 2 tanks and 2 supports versus 6 people on the other team, where both red team DPS are just goofing off over here at the blue team spawn. Now, they do end up taking out the Hanzo once or twice, but it doesn't matter. Look at the blue team already has 80+%. So they take out the Hanzo, big deal, right? It's not really going to help a whole lot. We're going to speed it up a little bit. Hanzo ends up respawning. And they take him out again. But it doesn't matter. It's 99%. The blue team just won because both DPS are goofing off. Now, in the next round, they actually do participate a little bit, but they're still goofing off quite a bit. And this frustration causes one of the tanks to just leave. And I don't condone this player leaving, right? But let me show you a little bit later on here. So again, we have both the DPS just trying to camp the other team's spawn. I don't condone the other tank leaving. I think even if you have a thrower on your team, you should still try. I've managed to win matches when you have a thrower on your team. It's difficult, but it can happen. But I at least understand the frustration that that player has, where they're like, you know what? This match is a lost cause. I don't want to deal with this anymore, and I'm just going to leave. Now, this is the kind of hidden cost that Blizzard is not paying attention to. Not only are the throwers ruining these matches here, but they're making it so that other players don't want to play your game. They don't want to play the game anymore if they know that this is the kind of nonsense they're going to have to deal with. I mean, look at the Mei. Mei was just sitting on the other side there the whole time. People don't want to deal with this nonsense, Blizzard. They don't want to have to see this. They don't want to... And the Mei just falls off. They don't want to deal with this nonsense. This means that you're going to lose your player base. The good players, the people that want to play your game and enjoy it, they can't because you're doing nothing at all to deal with the people that are trying to ruin the match. And there you go. Now, is that other person right for leaving? No, they should have stayed in the match. But at least it's understandable, the frustration level. And who knows? Maybe this is the last time that person ever plays the match, ever plays the game. Because this was the breaking point. This was the last straw. And you know what? I'm just not going to play this game anymore because Blizzard doesn't do anything about the throwers. This is the hidden cost. You're going to lose your valuable player base, your good player base, because you're not doing anything about the bad player base. As you can tell, a little bit annoyed watching that last match. It's aggravating to see that sort of stuff, and I wasn't even in the match. It wasn't even my game that was lost because of that. It's just super frustrating to see that kind of thing and to know that it goes mostly unchecked in the game. But as I said earlier, if you have any replays that you want to share, you can send them to me. Also, make sure you check out the video on the agent program. Thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell to get notified. You can get some cool gear, join my Discord server, or follow me on social media with the links down in the description below. Special thanks to my Patreon supporters, and remember, always blame the controller because it's never your fault.